If I could start over, this is how I would start watching anime. I was very confused at first, and I lost myself on this old streaming website. After watching dozens of anime, I realized that everything was so much clearer when using a step-by-step process. That's the thing about beginning a new hobby. You are confused until you are able to organize a step-by-step method in your head that will help you to enjoy your hobby. And by the end of this video, you will exactly know where to start, what to watch, and how to fully enjoy anime. So let's start with step 1. When I was watching Attack on Titan with my friend, I was nitpicking and asking questions about why this character didn't do X or Y. I pointed out how certain things made no sense and how some things seemed weird. My friend felt annoyed by my questions and just told me to enjoy the series. That's when I realized that I was not in the right mindset for watching this anime. You shouldn't question the anime's logic and characters all the time because you lose something essential, the fun. It is a million times more enjoyable to let things flow and immerse yourself in the anime rather than trying to make sense of a fictional world. I used to practice karate, and one golden rule was to put aside all feelings and problems we had when entering the tatami. That way, we were able to truly enjoy the moment without exterior thoughts. I noticed that it's the exact same thing you should do for any hobby, and in my case, I had to do this to appreciate Attack on Titan. When watching an anime, adopt the right mindset and don't question whatever happens. You will enjoy it much more and feel a lot better after watching your episode. Now, let's talk about step 2. When I was choosing which anime to watch, I always made sure to stick to the same genre and the same art style. And also, I completely avoided any anime that seemed old. I didn't want to change my habits and watch something that I was not used to. Then, I heard about a great anime called Katanagatari. When I saw the art style, I strongly questioned whether I should watch it. I convinced myself to give it a chance because the synopsis was intriguing, and the first episode made me realize something. I loved that it was different from other anime. This is what happens when watching various genres, stories, and art styles. You'll find that your anime culture will become much richer, and you'll be able to enjoy almost any anime out there. So make sure to watch different kinds of anime and not trap yourself into just one. In my early days watching anime, I decided to watch Dragon Ball Z. It was great and I loved it, but it took me forever to finish it. I didn't know at the time, but I made an error. I chose to watch an anime over 100 episodes, 291 in this case, way too soon. It's not that there's beginner and advanced anime, but I strongly suggest watching shorter series for your first 10 to 20 anime. You will be less likely to drop these, and you have the satisfaction of finishing a series. Also, your anime pool will increase much faster, and then you'll be ready to take on these larger animes. So, in order to give you the fullest and most enjoyable first experience watching anime, this is what I would recommend to watch as your first 10 anime. I only selected series that I have seen with less than 40 episodes with different genres and art styles. One Punch Man is a superhero anime with a crazy powerful main character. The animation is great, and I particularly like the humor contrasting with the unique character designs. Kaguya-sama Love is War is a romance anime about two high schoolers way too proud to reveal their feelings, and they try to make the other one fall in love. It's a sweet and funny anime you will love to watch. Prison School is my favorite comedy anime, and it's about young men sent to the prison school for spying on the girls' FaceTime. The goofy scenes and the hilarious faces make me laugh every time I watch this. Oshinoko is a drama focused on the life of two children who want to become an idol just like their mother. I love the music in this anime and how the idol world is represented. Shiki is a horror anime about a teenager who tries to discover the mystery of a strange disease in a small village. The ambience and the art style are my favorite in this anime, and I suggest you to go in blind with this one. Ranking of Kings is a fantasy anime about a weak, deaf, and mute boy who has to succeed his giant father, the king. The art style and the way this anime conveys emotions makes it a must-watch for me. I liked it so much that I even made an entire video about it. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a very popular science fiction anime with mechas. I love the mature themes, and it also has one of the best openings in anime. Katanagatari is an anime about two characters going on an adventure to collect 12 deviant swords judged too dangerous by the shogunate. The art style is one of my favorites, and the fights are great. Death Note is a supernatural anime about a young genius who has a strong sense of justice, finding a Death Note, a book capable to kill someone if you write his name inside. This is actually my first anime, and I will never forget about the ambience, the characters, and the amazing plot. Great Teacher Onizuka is a slice-of-life anime about an ex-gang leader who wants to become the best teacher of Japan. He gets one of the most difficult class of middle school students ever, and dealing with them is a real challenge. Right from the first episode, you will understand why this is one of my favorite anime. The comedy and the life lessons are gold. If you need more recommendations, check the description below for alternatives. Now, we are on to step 3. I had a hard time watching the first episode of Gintama. It starts with a very chaotic episode and everything is unclear. I didn't understand much and then I dropped it. Later, I decided to give this anime another chance because it's known as one of the funniest anime ever, and after getting past the first 3 episodes, I realized that I never truly tried to watch it. One episode is not enough to get into Gintama, and I figured it was the same for every anime. You have to watch the first 3 episodes in order to get a correct grasp on the anime. This is called the 3 episodes rule. If you don't, you might miss out on an anime that you would have liked, or even worse, your favorite anime. But of course, don't force yourself, like I did when I tried to watch Hitsugi no Chaika. I watched the first episode at least 3 or 4 times, and I always ended up sleeping. On the contrary, some anime like Ranking of Kings gave me a special feeling, and I had the irresistible need to watch every episode in a row. I always love devouring an entire series in only one day. That's why I often binge watched anime, but I noticed that I didn't remember them as well. Letting my mind have more time to digest the episode I just watched helped me to enjoy it more. So it's up to you whether you want to binge watch or take your time. Either way, you'll have a nice time. One last thing, just like I did when I was starting to watch anime, you might not have heard Japanese before. I told you that my first anime was Death Note, and well, I didn't want to read the subtitles, so I simply started to watch the French version. And well, let's say it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. So I got curious, and I tried the Japanese version. Even though I had to read to understand what was going on, the voice acting was so much better. The voice actors are on a higher level and deliver a great job in every anime I've ever watched. So you should try to just force yourself to read the subtitles and enjoy the fantastic voice acting. It's extremely worth it. Plus, you actually start to pick up on words and expressions in Japanese, and you can even understand without reading sometimes, so that's a cool feat. And another really cool feat would be to like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you. Now, step 4 is knowing where to watch anime. There are actually 2 paths, the legal and the illegal. Let's start with the first one. I always had a Netflix account thanks to my parents, and I believe many of you have one. If that's the case, you can start from there, but the selection of anime is pretty limited. And this is when I started to look after all the streaming sites, and I found Crunchyroll. It's the most popular streaming site specialized in anime and has much more choice while being relatively cheap. Depending on your country, there are other streaming sites like Amazon Prime Video, HiDive, Disney+, Hulu, Animation Digital Network, and many more. But if you prefer to own your anime, you will have to buy on physical media like DVDs and Blu-rays. It can become quite expensive, but you'll never have to worry about a subscription or licenses expiring on streaming platforms. Okay, so I recommend sticking to legal ways to support the industry, but if you can't afford to, there are other ways. Actually, a huge number of people watch anime on illegal websites. Don't worry though, you will be alright if you watch anime in streaming. It's the owners of these platforms that are in trouble if they ever get caught. Sometimes their website gets nuked, but it comes back under a new URL very quickly. There are many streaming sites like 9anime, HiAnime, or Anilab. You can find many others by using the index MOE. All the links are in the description. When watching from these sites, make sure to use an ad block because the ads can get extremely infuriating. You could also use a VPN if you want to be extra cautious. It is possible to watch anime on YouTube, but the quality won't be great, and you won't find every anime you want. Though some channels are completely legal, like Gundam Info channel that focuses on the mecha anime Gundam. Finally, if all these options aren't enough for you, you can always set sail. I won't explain how to do so here, but there are many resources online if you want to. Just remember that when using torrents, you should always use a VPN and be wary of the sites you are using. Now we are on to the last step, step 5. When I first watched Prison School by myself, I told you that it was one of the funniest anime I've ever seen. When my little brothers got older, I just had to show them this series. And this is when I realized that rewatching this anime with them was so much funnier than it was on my own. The same joke was even more hilarious because of our reactions. Laughing with my brothers while watching this anime was a happy moment, and it's kinda why I love this hobby. Watching with someone else can completely change the experience and become real memories. Also, I watched Fate Zero with one of my friends that introduced me to this anime. There are many things about this series, and it's actually quite difficult to get everything when watching it for the first time. My friend was able to give me a good understanding of what was going on, and I figured it made the anime so much easier to follow. That's another reason why watching with someone else is a great experience. It's faster to understand the anime and you won't miss out important details. Something that I always like to do after watching an episode is to read the comments. Until recently, I never really knew why I read them. I don't even write my own comments. But I understood that I liked seeing people enjoying things. Maybe I'm weird, but I think the community dimension is also an enjoyable part of watching anime. There are always haters and toxic persons, of course, but the huge majority of people are nice. So I recommend you to read them too, and maybe even posting your own comments. For example, let me know what's your first anime here. For the Giga Chads still watching this video, here's a bonus part for you. What to do after you started watching anime. Do you know what this is? When I first saw these anime characters, I thought they were AI entities like Hatsune Miku, and then I realized that they're real people behind an avatar. They're called VTubers, as for virtual YouTubers. At this point, I guess I don't really need to explain why you want to watch real anime girls. Just try one stream and you'll understand. I like to own some merchandise from my favorite anime. As you can see behind me, my figures I got from Japan and some of my displays. I also bought mangas because I wanted to read the original material. I must say that it's a completely different experience from anime. I really like it, but I think it's much more difficult to get what's going on sometimes because of the lack of animation, colors, and sounds. That's why I prefer watching anime. If you want to discover a masterpiece better than 99.9% of anime, check out this video.